Ones and twos. So whenever I do these sessions, I'm always a bit afraid that something may go wrong technically. We may not get a recording, or my audio may not come through, the screen may not come through. So just give me a 1 and 2 so I know for sure that you can hear me okay and you can see the screen as well. Fantastic. Okay, lots of 1s and 2s now flying in. By the way, for some reason, and this happens with me with GoToWebinar all the time, I don't see everyone's name. I do apologize, but know that I will read all the comments. My team will read all the comments, and we will respond to each and every one of you. So by all means, keep your questions coming in, keep the engagement going, because this is what drives me to do these sessions and deliver my best. Okay, more 1s and 2s. Perfect. Also, of course, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I'm in Finland, and I'm actually going to be traveling shortly. And I'll say that now it's cold. Like, it's been snowing for the last few days. And the city that we're in has had the most snow in the entire country. And we're not even that far up north. We're quite down far south. But weirdly enough, we've had the most amount of snow in the country over the last few days. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, what about you, where you are? Is it sunny? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it rainy? What kind of weather is it for you? Let me know. While you do that, I'll talk about what we have for you today. So today on this session, I want to show you how you can make $1,000 to $10,000 flipping domains as a side hustle using AI in 2025 and beyond. So 24, 25 and beyond. So this is very, very important, by the way. What we're doing today is domain flipping. It's not something that needs to be your core business. You could literally spend 5 minutes a week on this, and it could be a side hustle that brings you anywhere between $1,000 to $10,000 a month in your business, just as a side income. Okay, this is very, very important. What we're showing today does not stop you from what you are doing. What we're showing today simply asks you to put in 5 minutes a week, and that will put you in a place where you can make $1,000 to $10,000 a month flipping domains as a side hustle. And again, you're going to be using our AI to do that as well, because we've got an entire prospecting system built in so that you can get clients standing in line to buy high authority domains from you for top bucks. So I'm going to reveal what other people are doing out there. I'm going to reveal what other people, what's working for them, and what you can do for yourself as well. They are businesses, by the way. They are businesses, and I'll give you the example as we go along. They're businesses that would easily pay $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 for a domain name that's close in branding to them. I remember a few years ago, we bought a domain bought a domain and for that we spent $4,000. We had a product already that we wanted to put on it, right? But we realized that domain name and the story behind that domain name really captured our attention, so we easily dropped $4,000 on that. And we were not the only business. There are other businesses out there that are spending lots of money. I'll show you examples as well, where the business is literally spending millions of dollars to acquire a very, very important domain name. Now look, I'm not saying that doing this you'll be able to make millions of dollars. By no means am I implying that, but I am telling you that for something as little as $10 a year investment into a new domain, you could flip that for $1,000 to $10,000 if you follow the techniques I show you, if you follow the strategy I show you, and if you implement that in your business as well. Now look, I'll say this about AI. AI has completely changed how we do pretty much everything in our line of work at the moment. And it's also revolutionizing the markets where people are buying and selling domains, because they're actually using AI to understand what domains will have high valuation. They're using AI to understand what domains are more likely to sell as well. So AI market by itself is expected to grow beyond $184 billion in 2024, which is a massive $50 billion jump. That's almost 33% jump. And by 2030, it's expected to go past $826 billion. This is massive. There's no denying that AI is smarter and faster than ever, right? AI can do things at a much faster rate. It can do things at a higher quality than it could ever be done before. Because with AI, actually searching for domains has become easier. It's become easier to analyze key metrics, and also you don't have to worry about finding buyers manually. You can actually use AI to understand where your buyers are hanging out and go after them. In fact, AI can actually flip the domains for you and close clients for you as well. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And if you take action today, this is a big if. It's okay if you come to this session to learn, to get some training, to understand what you need to do to build this as a side hustle. But if you take an action today, as I ask you to on this session, then you will be able to start a wildly profitable side hustle, one that can make you anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 each month, and maybe even more. Maybe even more. Just like a lot of other people are doing by selling their site domains that don't actually, they're not using themselves, they're just giving them to other businesses. They're making $300, $450, $2,000. And you can as well. And you will have AI actually closing clients for you and making you money flipping domains. This is very, very important. AI can do a lot of things. It can do write content, it can create videos for you. But until now, AI couldn't find and flip domains for you. And it will be able to do that as well. And I'll prove to you how we have used the exact system to make just over $7,000 in the last 14 days, just to prove that it works. Just to prove that it works, I'm going to show you step-by-step case studies of exactly what we have done, what works for us, and how you can do that for yourself as well. And it's not just us. We have seen many people use the same process and make money with it. Think about the elections. When Walz got announced as a candidate, there were a few people in line. Someone already bought harriswalz.com domain, and they actually bought it in 2020. Think about this, right? They predicted that Harris was going to run for the president. They predicted that Walz could be one of their partners, and they bought that domain. Now, here's the thing. Here's what they did. They didn't actually just buy that one domain. They probably bought 50 or 100 different domains. And then they flipped it for one of them, the best one, for $15,000. And it's not just that. There are tons of other case studies of people buying domains, sitting on them for just a little bit till it becomes essential to some business, to someone else, and then selling that. And again, my promise to you is if you implement what I tell you, if you execute what I tell you, you can easily turn around and make 5 figures per month by flipping domains. So here's what I want for you today. After we're done with today's training, I want to equip you, I want to enable you so that you can own and run a fully functioning domain flipping business for yourself. And the best part is that this is going to operate 24/7 automatically behind the scenes using the power of AI. You don't need to log in and check in every day. You don't need to log in and click buttons every day. It is literally, as I will show you, set and forget. It'll take you about 5 minutes a week to do this. You can spend a bit more time, of course, to speed up your results, but at the bare minimum, you're going to spend 5 minutes a week to do this, which will allow you to create the perfect side hustle income. And that is what I want for you. And look, if you want to do this, if you want to run a business without creating sales pages, shooting videos and running ads, this is for you. If you want to run a business and make money without hosting webinars, creating lead magnets or building a list, this is for you. And if you want to run a business and make money without needing a strong online presence or constant prospecting efforts, then this is for you. I know you're used to seeing a lot of pitches. I know you're used to seeing a lot of these sessions where people say, hey, you should already have a running business and this is going to automate your social media, or this is going to automate your content marketing, or this is going to build your websites, all those things. None of that is a requirement here. You don't need to be a copywriter. You don't need to be a salesperson. You don't need to be a developer. All I ask you to do is follow step by step what I show you, follow the training I put in front of you, and then implement it. In the beginning, it'll take you about an hour to get started, but then implement it in 5 minutes every single week. But look, I'll tell you this as well. If you're coming to the session thinking, Neil, I'll press a button and I'll instantly get rich, this session's not for you. I'm not a genie. I can't make you rich just by you buying a product. You do have to work. You do have to implement it. And today, if you don't have at least $200 to invest in this business, this is not going to work for you. I'm going to make you an offer at the end of the session that's going to cost you under $300. But even after that, you do have to spend anywhere between $2 to $12 a year at least. You can spend more. If you spend more, the chances of your success multiply, they amplify. But at the very bare minimum, you do have to invest $2 to $12 a year into this business. And look, by being here, I know you have the basic computer internet skills, so I think you're okay. And it says there you don't have at least 5 hours per week to commit to making this work. You genuinely do not need 5 hours per week. With how we've systemized it, with the training that I've set up for you, it needs literally 5 minutes a week of you checking in to some things. You can, of course, spend a bit more time. Like I said, that's only going to multiply and amplify your effort. So here's what I need from you right now before we go any further. I want you to comment yes in the chat box if you're going to stay until the end, which will allow you to create a decent income. So comment yes in the chat box, and at the end I'll also give you a free gift that will put you on a journey in your online business. But comment yes right now so I know you're with me, I know you're active, and I know you want this training, which is going to be perfect for you. Good. Lots of yeses coming in. I absolutely love it. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Neil Napier, and I've been an online marketer since 2012. So it's coming close to 13 years now, 12 years, more than 12 years I've been an online marketer. And I started this journey to literally replace my job. So back in 2010, I was working for a software development company. It was actually a bank. And if you know, 2010, not the best time to work for a bank because of recession. And eventually they let me go, which was quite frustrating because I was living in the UK at that time and my job was my anchor to living in the UK. But because I lost that job, I also lost the ability to continue to live in the UK. Initially, I started freelancing so I could make enough money to renew my visa. But in the end, that was not enough either. So, I made my way eventually to Finland, and I've been here since 2012. And it's been incredible because over these last 12 years, I have been able to create what I like to call both time and financial freedom for myself. So that's my kid. He's actually 6 now, so this is a really old picture. But I'll tell you this, that over this time, over the last, I'd say, 12 years or so, I have created both time and financial freedom for myself. What that means is that I can take time whenever I want. For example, I'm traveling this week. I can work as much as I want, as little as I want. It doesn't truly affect my income. The money still keeps coming in passively. And that's the kind of life I want, where as my kids are growing up, I'm able to spend enough time with them as well. And this has been my main goal for quite some time now, to enable others to live the kind of life that I've been able to provide to myself, to my family as well. So I want you to also be in a position where you can have both time and financial freedom in your life. And again, for us, over the last decade or so, results have been exceptional, results have been great. And I want the same thing for you as well. I want you to have amazing years, year on end, where you're making a ton of money. But what we are most proud of is this. What we're most proud of today is creating something that literally is a set and forget side hustle. This is not one of those occasions where I'm going to ask you to, hey, stop everything you're doing and only do this. Like, forget everything else, like sell your business or just liquidate your business. No, I want you to continue what you're doing, and I want you to do this on the side. This takes so little time and money investment that you could literally set it up and running so it continues to get you results for months and years to come. And by the way, when you get into this, I will also tell you, you're going to be planting seeds for the future. I know someone, we're going to talk about domain flipping, right? So you understand what the concept is. And if you don't, I'll explain in a minute. But I know someone who invested in a domain about 9 years ago, it was, I think. In the beginning, he spent $100 to acquire it. Then he's been paying $10 a year. And just last week, that domain that he bought $100 9 years ago, just last week, he was able to flip that for, believe it or not, $18,000. Right, so his total investment in that has been about $200 until today. He's been sitting on it for such a long time, and now that the market is prime, now that what he had bought with the idea is ready to go, someone paid him $18,000 for that. So that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to literally make a job replacing income, an income that can support you, your family, an income that gives you free time as well. And I want to do this because I want you to win, because when you win, that's when I win. Look, I'll say this right now. When you win, when you get results, when you make money, you're more likely to come back to me and buy more things from me, right? You're more likely to talk positively about me to other people. So it's in my best interest that I give you the tools and trainings to help you win. But here's what I need to tell you. We can only give you the training and tools. You do control your own success. I'm giving you the blueprint. I'm giving you the system, the tactics that work for me, that work for other people like me. But you need to be able to do that. You should want to do that. If you're in this session thinking, nah, Neil, you know what? I don't want to spend 5 minutes a week tracking this, then that's okay. We can part ways right now. I'll also tell you that our student earnings vary widely, and not all results are typical. Most of our students earn enough to supplement their income, not replace it. This is, again, I want to be clear, for most of you here today, what you make from this would be enough to supplement your income, not completely replace it. For some of you, it will. For some of you, it might even go past your income levels that you're making right now. Whatever the case may be, this will put you on a track to actually own assets. So I want to clarify this too, because when it comes to domain flipping, the big difference with domain flipping against something like social media marketing or email marketing is like you actually own assets in this case. Like think about buying properties to rent or buying properties to flip. You spend $100,000 acquiring an old house, right? You put another $50,000 to make it better. Your total investment is $150,000, and then a year later, 2 years later, you flip it for $300,000. That's house flipping. What we're talking about here today is domain flipping. So yes, some of you are going to make enough money from it to supplement your income, but some might also make enough money to actually replace or even go beyond your income. But like any business, it does take time, dedication, and perseverance to succeed. But unlike most new businesses, the startup costs with this are ignorable for almost anyone, right? The system that you will learn today is not a get-rich-quick scheme. While you can make progress quickly, you should not expect immediate life-changing results. And again, I want to repeat this, you are planting seeds. That's what you are doing. It is not a sure thing that guarantees everyone will succeed. Some of you may sit on domain for such a long time that you get tired. I mean, I've sat on domains and I've been like, you know what, I don't want to keep spending money on this, so I'll just let it expire. So that might happen to you as well. It is risky. But again, if you follow the system, you can minimize that risk, you can maximize your returns. And you do need to learn and apply yourself. I'm going to give you the training and tools, but it is up to you to put in the work. I can't hold your hand and say, buy that domain, sell that domain, do this and do that. I can give you a training, I can give you a guideline, but it is up to you to implement it. And of course, if at any point you get stuck, I'm here to help you. We do want you to succeed, because if you do, you help us fulfill our mission of creating successful entrepreneurs and living up to our excellent reputation as well. Now, before we get started, before we really bite into it, let me, by the way, type in a 3 if you are still with me. I've been talking for such a long time. I want to make sure that you're still with me, you're still following along, and everything is still clear. Type in a 3. All right. Good, lots of 3s coming in. So look, now before we get started, I want to discuss 2 myths that you might have heard about domain flipping. And again, if you're not clear of the concept, I'll explain domain flipping once again. Think of it like house flipping, where you buy a house, maybe you improve it, maybe you don't, and then a year or 2 later, whenever, you basically sell it. I know people who do house flipping and they buy properties in a few $100,000. And look, I don't have that kind of liquidity to invest. Maybe you don't either, but domain flipping is cheaper, right? Instead of buying a $100,000 house, you're buying a domain at $10 a year, or maybe in the beginning you spend a bit more to buy a premium domain. You spend like $3,000, $4,000. You sit on it for a while, and then, by the way, if you spend $3,000 or $4,000, you can still renew it for like $10, $12, or I think it's like $16 a year. So it doesn't have to be expensive. And then when you find the right buyer, when the right buyer finds you, then you flip that domain, you sell that domain for much higher price than what you paid, and you make a profit. But let's dispel 2 myths, 2 things that you might think you know about domain profits, but are not actually true. So you might think domain flipping. You might think, Neil, domain flipping, well, if I want to do this, I need multiple years of experience. I actually thought that too. Like, believe it or not, before I knew the concept of domain flipping, I was like, what if I buy the wrong domain? Like, what if I make a mistake? What if I do this? What if I do that? I need like lots of experience before I can do this. You actually don't. You really, really don't. It's one of those things where you learn by doing. And the cost of doing is very, very low. As little as $2 a year, or on average $10 a year. So it doesn't require a lot of experience to do this. You can get started with minimal knowledge. And in fact, chances are you already have some domains lying around. You probably got some domains in GoDaddy, Namecheap, all those places. And you could potentially sell 1 or 2 of those and already make good money. Like, okay, let me ask you this question right now in chat box and type in for me. How many domains do you have registered at the moment that are not being used actively? Like domains that are not resulting in any sales, leads, or traffic for you right now. Type in the chat box. How many domains do you have sitting in with you right now that you're not actively using for your business? 5, 25. Wow, okay, that's a lot. 16, 2, 8, 31. Wow. Okay, so look, a lot of you, and I see more responses coming in, by the way, a lot of you have domains that you are already sitting on, right? So I think that you have experience. Like if you think you don't have experience, you do, but it doesn't require much more experience than that. We'll talk about this. Myth number 2, you need top selling skills to make money, right? This is what people think as well. Like I used to think that too. How do I flip a domain? Like how do I find buyers? Like it's a struggle. I need to know how to find buyers to sell that domain that I have. Now, I want to break those myths down for you. If these myths are true, how are these newbies making money? They have people like this guy did a video. You see, this guy did a video and he talked about how he paid $415 for a domain and he sold that for over $14,000. And how you can do that over and over again. Someone else said was a case study, of how they turned $20 into $5,000 by selling domain names. Look at this one. I sold a domain for a profit of 104,000%. So in 2021, he purchased a crypto-related web domain for $765, and 2 weeks ago I received an offer. So this is from last year, since 2023. 2 years. In 2 years, they flipped that domain for $7,900. All I did was identify a domain name and sit on it for 2 years. I want to repeat that for you, for people at the back. Make sure you hear this. All I did to make 104,397% profit was identify a domain name and sit on it for 2 years. Now, I mean, look, I'm quite good at sitting on things and not doing anything. I don't know about you, but I'm quite good at sitting on things and not doing anything. So really, domain flipping should come as more of a natural thing for us, right? And I'll tell you this as well, that this is something that, while it's not as common to have 104,000% profit, it is possible. And I actually have extensive training. So if you were to get what I'm asking you to get today, I have extensive training. It's a 9-lesson training that walks you through this entire process of what people like the Agony Uncle are doing. And it's not just them. There are others. I had a similar success years ago. Bought trusttheflash.com, brand new, sold on auction for $800. This guy, you know, the people on Upwork that will literally do domain research for you for $22 an hour. This one, I got lucky a very long time ago, $4 domain name, got it for, and it got bought for $2K. They used a broker in that case. So the fact is that thanks to what's already happening, thanks to AI, domain flipping has gotten much easier than ever before. You do not need domain knowledge. You do not need sales skills. You do not need big investment. Like none of that. AI filters out the best domains on key metrics for you. I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes as I demo the software for you. But AI filters out the best domains for you based on key metrics. You do not need sales skills to do this. AI finds contacts and closes clients for you as well. And no big investment is required. You can start with a $10 domain and scale later if you want to. And let me be clear on this. Every business needs a domain name. Every business does. Bill Gates said this: domains have and will continue to go up in value faster than any other commodity known to man. It's like land. There is limited land in the world. There are limited domains in the world. There really are, because how many 4-letter words can you have? How many 5-letter words can you have with .com in them? So they are limited commodity. So many of them are being booked every day. If you land on something which is unique, which is something that other business may value, they will pay through the teeth for it. What that means for you is that every business out there is your potential client. And this is, again, a big differentiator compared to, say, everything else out there. That, you know, and everything else you have to niche down, you have to find a specific thing, those sorts of things. But with domain flipping, every business out there is your potential client. You just have to approach them at the right time with the right messaging and the offer. If you do that, they will bite your hand. Again, in our case, when we paid $4,000 for that domain name, we were just primed to buy. For many years before that, many years after that, we haven't spent that kind of money on a domain. But at that time, we were just in the right place at the right time to buy. And we were looking for domains in the marketplace like the one I'm going to show you, where you can also list your domains. And we paid $4,000 for it. Today, in today's training, I'm going to show you exactly what other businesses out there need, what you can provide. And I'm going to give you additional tidbits, additional knowledge, tips as well, that are going to help you in your journey. There are people, literally, I want to repeat this. There are people on Upwork, all they do day in, day out is the expired domain search, right? And that's actually, I'm going to show you this right now. I'm going to just give you a quick insight into this. That's built into this right now. That's built into our software right now, expired domain list. But there are people that are actually doing this as a job. So, 3 secrets that I want to walk you through today. Number 1, your AI domain flipper. I want to show you how to effortlessly find, analyze, and sell high authority domains using AI prospecting automations. Number 2, I want to talk about massive demand. I want to talk about how you can discover the insane demand and earning potential about this rare side hustle that businesses would beg to pay for. And number 3, special access. Today on this session, I want to give you exclusive access to the one and only AI tech that allows you to find mega value domains and flip them for top dollars. So 3 things I want to show you. Type in another 3 for me. I know you did before. Type in another 3 for me. So I know you're ready. I know you're ready to go. And we'll get into these 3 secrets. And I'm going to show you the possibility. I'm going to show you the potential of what it is that you can do today in the world of domain flipping. And you can do passively. You do not need to do this as a full-time thing. It is something you can just do on the side. So type in 3 for me and we will dig right into this. So let's get into the first secret, which is how to effortlessly find, analyze, and sell high authority and expired domains using AI prospecting automations. Look, I'll tell you this up front that it is by no means any surprise that AI is revolutionizing businesses in almost every niche. In the beginning, when AI came out, this was late 2022 when ChatGPT in November, it was a big occasion. That's when all the writing tools propped up. You know, you've got tools that can write, and now you've got tools that can create videos and audios, all those different things. But now AI is becoming, rather than being the centerpiece of everything of business, it's starting to take part in various businesses. So what I mean is, let's say previously domain finding used to be a manual process. You'd have to do manually. Now AI is improving that. Now AI is giving you a lot of options as well. So we'll talk about that today on this session. With it, it's gotten so much easier to start, operate, and scale a business, all thanks to AI, because now the staff costs are down. You don't need big investments anymore as you used to before. You don't need to do everything manually, and there's so many AI solutions out there that businesses can utilize as well. So I think, to me, in my business, AI has been a boon, and I think that's the same for you as well. But the question is this: when everyone has access to AI, why isn't everyone succeeding? Right? You got to ask that yourself as well. You probably have access to a lot of tools that do AI writing, for example, and now video creation using AI. So why don't you have the same results as you should? There is one common problem among 90% of the people using AI today. And this problem I see way too often. I see in many, many cases, and I think this is what stops people from succeeding. They are using AI to sell the same old services that probably 99 other people in the neighborhood are also selling, right? I talked about this: writing, copywriting, SEO. These days, web design, content, media, even videos, graphics. All of this has been made so boilerplate with AI that it's becoming harder to sell those. Yes, you can do social media automation. Yes, you can do content creation automation. But what can you actually do which is unique? Which is something not everyone else is doing. Think about it. And let's be real for a second. Businesses get pitched these services all the time. How many cold emails do you receive? How many emails do you receive to talk about AI content tools? And look, I mean, they still do work. I'm not saying they don't, because we have our own as well. But when it comes to offering services to businesses, they're becoming too commonplace. Every agency or service provider is selling one of these services, which makes it almost impossible to land new clients with them. It's almost impossible. Yes, you might get lucky. Yes, maybe if your price is low enough, or if you know someone already, you might land them as a client. But every agency or service is already competing with you. So what you need to do if you want to go out there and sell this as a service is you need to find someone else. Find someone else that can do, find some other service that you can offer that no one else is offering at this point in time. And comment agree if you agree all this, by the way. Comment agree if you feel that with the advent of AI tools like writing, social media, all these things, it's becoming a little bit too commonplace. It's becoming a little bit too same old, same old. Let me know in the chat box if you agree. Yeah, market is crowded with such services: copywriting, content creation, social media marketing, web development, graphic designing, media assets, ads, search engine optimization. Everyone can do it. A lot of the people I know in the digital nomad community, because I hang out with them, people who travel around the world a lot of those people are struggling because they used to get paid, while they live in Bali or Thailand, they used to get paid like $1,000, $2,000 for a few articles a month. And now the AI can do it. So what they're struggling with is, how do I make money anymore? What do I do differently? I hope some of the people that have lost their jobs because of AI are on this session, because now you'll discover like a different way of doing things that is not yet saturated. Saturation is a big, big problem. If that happens to you, it becomes hard to find clients. But even if you find clients, you have to compete on price, because what you offer as a service is now commoditized. And here's why this is a big problem. When you're selling any of these digital services or assets, you're dealing with a special situation called the crowded pond syndrome. I don't know if you've heard of this, the crowded pond syndrome. But essentially, within the crowded pond syndrome, it's like going for fish hunting or fishing in an overfished pond where there are only 5 fishes left and 100 of the people going after them too. Are you going to catch anything? The probability of you catching a fish when there's only 5 fish left and like there's 100 different people around the embankment, around the edge, all trying to find those fishes. What's going to happen? You're not going to catch anything. And in the end, of course, there's smaller fishes left. So there's not much food for you. And it's the same with crowded services. Let's say you say, okay, Neil, you know what? I still believe in AI content and I want to go all in on that. Yeah, okay, fine, do that. You choose a crowded service. You search for clients desperately. You reach out to them to close them. Right? You say, hey, let me sign up with you. They're like, there's 10 other people that are waiting, to offer us the same thing. What can you offer? Like, oh, well, okay, I'll reduce the price. You reduce the price. Maybe you get a fish. You get a small fish that'll pay you, instead of $2,000, that'll pay you $500 a month. And then you spend hours and hours providing this as a service. Just the mental load of doing that is too much. And then you repeat this over and over and over and over again. It's not fun anymore. So I want you to think about, if you do want to offer services, I want you to offer something that is unique in itself. I want you to offer something that is uniquely yours. Because the worst part with all this is that businesses with deep pockets would prefer to work with agencies who have a track record of wins, which makes it even harder to land clients. So yes, you might think, oh, but I will land this one client because, I know this like friend of a friend, or like my aunt's cousin runs this and they will definitely sign up with me. They'd prefer someone who has a track record of getting results, has a track record of winning. So what does that mean for you? It means that making money by providing services becomes super hard for smaller agencies, freelancers, and individual marketers and solopreneurs. So making money has become harder and harder over the last couple of years, even though AI has made life easier. Look, the easier life becomes, the easier it becomes for everyone else, which means the harder it will become for you to actually make money. So we sat down, my team and I sat down, and we thought of creating a system that allows everyone to win and make money regardless of their experience. And look, again, I'll say everyone, but everyone who has this system. Not everyone in the world is going to be interested and is going to want to do domain flipping, but everyone who's on this session today has the opportunity to win and make money regardless of how much experience that they have. And after doing a ton of research, after looking at what works, what doesn't work, what are the hidden opportunities, what are the ways in which people can actually have assets online, assets that they can hold on to, assets that appreciate in price, and assets they can sell in the future, we discovered a service, I call this more of a side hustle, that allows everyone to make money. Again, everyone who does it. But look, we didn't want to preach it blindly. We didn't want to just come and talk about their theory. We didn't want to say, okay, this is what you should do. I think this is what you do. Then I think if you do this. No, we didn't want to do any of that. What we actually did was we implemented this process and made over $7,000 in deals in 15 days. We made over $7,000 flipping domains just like I'm telling you about, and You can see those payments over there on the top. And we want you to do the same as well. We discovered a side hustle that is not crowded. There's always opportunity because, again, remember that the domains are limited. And it takes less time and money and can easily help you make more money on the side as well. So again, Flipping Profits allows you to set something on the side, set something small if you want, big if you want, massive if you really, really want, and then you've got results coming in every month. For us, for example, we have a portfolio of 100 domains. Most of them are in use. Most of them are being used for applications, for our websites and so on. But there's still a majority of it, like 40-45%, that is not being used. All we have to do is list those 40-45% of domains and then check in once a week. Do we have any offers? Is someone interested? And we get emails for those too, so we don't even have to check in unless we have an offer. And then if you want to, we sell it. We use that money to buy more domains, or we use that money for traveling. That's up to us. Flipping domains is a profitable, low cost and flexible way to make money online. Now, these are some stats we found online, and I think you'd be interested in this. The average sale price for a flip domain is $2,500. The average. Not saying that's how much every domain sells for, obviously, but on average. If you do domain flipping for 5 years, for example, if you sell 10 domains in that time, on average, that's what you would have made for every domain that you sell. Obviously, domains have to be valuable. They have to be worth that much for someone to pay that, right? 40% of flip websites sell within the first month of listing. Approximately 35% of website flippers are first-time sellers. This should be encouraging for you. There's 1 in 3 chance for you to come in and start selling within the first month, right? On an average, beginners like you and me can earn between, and I'm a beginner too, by the way. I just happen to have domains because that's my business. On average, beginners can earn between $100 to $10,000 by flipping domains. A website's value can be 20 to 50 times its monthly net profit. Think about that. Think about all of that. Now, while you're thinking, you might also be thinking, why is this hustle so effective? Like, what makes it so effective compared to everything else? Look, others are effective too. Like if you're doing service like content creation, SEO, all those different things that we've kind of hinted at before, they are effective too. It's not that they're not, they're just too competitive. So why is domain flipping so effective? See, I'll tell you this right now. There are 2 types of domains, right? You've got old domains and new domains. So I want to explain this a bit more before I explain to you why it is so effective. So there's old domains and new domains. New domain is something that, hasn't been used until now. Let's say you come with a new domain like, I'm thinking, okay, this is good. US elections 2048. US elections 2048. I mean, it's like so far away, like 24 years away. But if you go and book a domain called US elections 2048, I don't know if it exists or not, but that's a new domain that's never been used before. It's like a brand new domain. Yes, someday, maybe in like 40 years from now, it will become, 20 years from now, it will become valuable and you make a ton of money on that. But you're kind of taking a risk buying that now. You'll have to save it. You'll have to spend $10, $16 a year, whatever you have to. And that's a new domain. An old domain is something that you maybe purchased, booked like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And you just held on to it. Organically, because you've been holding on to domain for such a long time, it's built up sort of proof. I don't want to call it social proof, but you've built up like an age proof. It's like wine, right? It's really like wine. When you buy a red wine, when you hold on to it for many, many years, it increases in value because the taste improves. It's the same with domain. Older domains are better because they influence trust and credibility. Older domains are often perceived as more trustworthy and are less likely to be flagged as spam, leading to also better email deliverability and other use cases. So you can book new domains and sit on them for a while, or you can acquire, or you can have old domains from before and just flip them as well, because they have a strong, sometimes brand value, strong SEO value. They've never been linked to spam, all those things. If you didn't know this, by the way, 18,100 new businesses are registered in the US every single day. That is a lot, by the way. That's a really, really big number. So 543,000 new businesses every month. That is massive. That is really, really big number. And I hinted at this before, Bill Gates talked about this before. What's the first thing that businesses do after registration? They buy a domain name. So you literally have 18,000 new businesses starting every day in the US alone. I'm not even talking about the rest of the world, but in the US alone, 18,100 new businesses starting every day. At least half of them are going to book a domain name. Not all of them, okay? At least half of them are going to book a domain name. 9,050 businesses are going to book a domain name. Some are going to buy a domain name that is like brand new, but some are going to want to look for a domain name that matches their values, matches their brand, matches their company. We have done that too. Remember, we have done that too. And believe it or not, when we bought that domain, kaivya.com, I was literally sitting at a beach with my friends and the business partner in Thailand. We were drinking beers and we were just brainstorming names. That's what we were doing at that time. While drinking, and again, it wasn't a bad choice in the end because it was a very, very valuable domain. While drinking, we spent $4,000 on a domain. So yeah, lots of businesses are opening, lots of businesses are starting, and they are buying domains. So it is undeniable that every business needs a domain. And if there's a domain which has backlinks authority, that will fetch higher value. I'll actually explain this in a little bit when I show you the tool. But if there's an aged domain name, as we call it, like older domain name, that has a strong sort of metrics already, is going to attract more value. But look, here's what it takes to find a good domain for business owners. I'm just going to give you the skin version right now. I've got full training, like I'll show you this right now. Within here, we've got training, and I've got like a whole almost 2-hour course on domain flipping. Right, I've got almost 2-hour course on domain flipping. You can go and watch all of these videos when you have access to them, but I'll give you the skin version right now. Here's what it takes to find a good domain name for business owners. You check domain availability, you verify trademarks and conflicts, you assess previous owner history, you start from zero backlinks, you battle age domain authority, fight Google's trust issues, avoid spammy name patterns, accept imperfect compromises, and so much more. But this is the sole reason. It's really complicated for others to do it. This is the sole reason businesses pay top bucks to domain brokers, or they buy domains from other people. And again, we have faced the same challenges that I'm talking to you about right now. And you will too if you start without what I'm teaching you. If you don't know what domains to choose, if you have zero knowledge about metrics that define domain value, if you're wasting time on expensive tools and listing, then you are going to leave money on the table. And again, this is one thing I do not need you to do. I do not need you to leave money on the table. So what we did on our end is we created a tool that does all the heavy lifting for us. In fact, again, we use the same tool to make over $7,000 in domain deals in the last 15 days to prove it to you that it works. Just to prove it to you that it works. Using the same tool that I'm going to show you today, we found expired domains, we found new domain ideas, we bought them, we sold them, and we made $7,000 doing exactly that. Just imagine for a second having a system that allows you to find and reach out to these desperate businesses on autopilot and offer them high authority domains with backlinks and more values. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can find and start to sell your own domains very quickly. Now, you will be able to find domains that have expired or expiring, or you'd be able to use AI to find your own domains that you can buy and flip as well. So let's go ahead and I'll walk you through the features. I'll show you in the quickest possible way how you can list your own domains, start selling them, and collect easy payments using either PayPal or Stripe. So one of the quickest ways to start with this is to come in and look at expired domains. We have a database of domains available within DomainProphets, and they're constantly updated, and you'll be able to find domains that are becoming available soon or are already available, and then you'll be able to go ahead and buy them directly from various different services such as GoDaddy, Namecheap, or even from private brokers if the domain was actually quite pricey. But you're able to use filtering to go deeper into domains that are available or are becoming available, and you can sort them as well. And then you can also hunt domains. So you can add new domains that you can hunt for. What that means is you can pick a domain, for example, let's say mailview.com, or you can add multiple domains. And as soon as that domain becomes available, you can get notified about that as well. Then you also have the premium domain names right over here where you can look at some of the domains which are expensive, but then also if you were to flip them, they will give you a multiple. That's going to put a lot of money in your pocket. What I do recommend is not to buy those domains unless you're sure that you're ready to sell them. And when it comes to selling them, there's a few different ways to approach it. For starters, you can list your domains under my domain. So you can come in, you can add your own new domain, you can provide some details, authenticate it so we know it is yours, and you can choose a price at which you want to sell them, after which that domain becomes available within our marketplace. And of course, there people can go and purchase those domains as well. If you choose to, of course, as long as your domain is listed, you can also give someone a buy link so they can go ahead and buy that domain directly from you, and we don't keep any commission or anything from there. You can then continue to transfer that domain to them. When someone is interested in your domains, they can go ahead and drop their details with you, their email, phone number, and address, and you can continue to communicate with them there. And once the transaction is fulfilled, you can find those transactions within this area. We also have a built-in AI domain generator where you can create new domain ideas. So for example, let's say you wanted to create a domain around content marketing. You can do that right here. You can give a bit of description. So let me go ahead and put that in. You can choose the languages you want it to be, and you can choose up to 3 domain types that you want to go after. And then you can click on the generate button. More domain types are available with the upgrade options. When you do, our AI creates these domain names for you. Let me show you what these look like. So you can look at various different domain names that we have created, and we instantly check whether or not they're available or if they're taken. And if they're available, we also estimate based on a proprietary algorithm the value of these domains. So for example, let's look at something like cntmark.com. That is available, and you can potentially get over $800 for it. So all you have to do then is go to places like GoDaddy, Namecheap, and purchase that domain from here, find the right buyer, and flip it to them. Of course, you can find the buyer by listing them under our domain marketplace, or you can also choose to sell them in other domain marketplaces or privately. We have built-in integration with PayPal and Stripe, so you are able to collect payments on either of these platforms. So when someone is ready to pay, they can pay you directly through these platforms. And of course, when a domain does become available, when you choose to hunt for it, you can get notifications directly via Telegram or Discord, which is a must-have mode of communication, because this way you don't miss out on any information once a domain does become available, because once it is available, you have to snap it up very quickly. On top of this, we have some additional tools available for you, such as you can look for whois information, DNS lookup, block list lookup, and open port lookup as well. If you don't understand what all this means, don't worry, it is all covered for you in an extensive training area where all these videos will be available for you as well. This and so much more is available as part of Domain Profits. And also remember, we have an entire course on domain flipping as well. This is something I would advise you to do even if you are already running a successful business, because you can find domains for $10, $20 a piece, and you can flip them for hundreds and even $1,000 at some times. And we teach you how to do exactly that and how to automate that for yourself, how to systemize that for yourself using Domain Profits.